Hi guys, my name is Scott and today I'm going to be talking about cloudformer, but this video is going to be more of a traps video because really I only had really 2 to 3 major errors in this service, so yeah, so don't expect it to be a long video. So the first major error I had with cloudformer was that in the route 1 and route 2 and so on, where at the destination side of the block it was set to 0.0.0.0 on a /0 slider. But every time you run it error out because since it's a route, you can't have the destination as anywhere. So I went with, at first I started with random IPs, but then I basically chose to do this IP address with just the first one at a 12 sider and then going up one each route because it can't be on the same sider for some reason for me. So, and also when I tried to do like dot 10.128.0.1 on a /12 on route 2, it'd still error out, so I'd be careful with that and just, yeah, it'd be easier to do what I've done, so yeah. So this is basically was my first template I ran, which was deleted on AWS CloudFormer as a stack because it just errored out and logged back. But with the next thing I'm going to talk about is the route bit missing right here, because this was supposed to have the gateway ID with that depends on gateway 1, which basically lets it go out to the internet. So if I go back to my current one, you can see that there's the missing parts in it. This was also airing out because it needed the gateway to get out to the internet and connect to the route. So it's basically referencing back to the gateway ID, and then depends on gateway 1, which is this one right here, which basically goes to the main VPC that was created in CloudFormer when you first started. So that's my one. Again, don't change this or anything that's related to this will error out, and also that. So keep it like the internet gateway ID the same, and the VPC ID just the one it's referencing to at first, or you'll end up airing it out. I also wanted to point out the amount of route tables I had, because at first I had 5, which I just copied and pasted this into a Word doc to make it easier to show. But as you can see, I have 2 more extra ones in this first template I had, but then I made it go down to just 3 route tables in the end, because it doesn't really need a lot of route tables to go out and in. So yeah, it doesn't really matter on the amount of routes, but I'd say probably minimum you'd have 2 or 3 to start with. And the last major error I want to show is relating to this line of code here. As you can see in my Notepad++ one, there is no IAM instance profile. This is because it was, when I first created this, I used the AWS ADS stack quick start VPC scenario. So that was trying to reference something I don't even have, and it error out at the last point. So that was just an easy fix, as I just took that bit of code out and it ended up working. So you don't really need an IAM instance profile, as it was just basically referencing other templates in the ADDS profile, ADDS stack. Sorry. But yeah. And also, as you can see, I was just mucking around with the template after I got it working, and the instance type, well, doesn't really have to be a large, but I'd say probably to best suit a scenario for a store, it'd probably be best to go to a T2.large. As when with a T2.micro, it's real slow and that, but I was just testing to check if that would work in my template, and it did. But yeah, that's basically all the errors I had. So I'm just going to quickly show you what it looks like when trying to create the stack. But probably by the time I post this video, I've probably made more changes to it, as I am just playing around right now trying to get a better mark for this assignment I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just going to pause right here and start the creating process. Also, before I continue, I want to mention that when you create your cloudformer template, by default you need two public subnets and private subnets. This is because with that template I used, it by default made you pick two or the error out. So basically this is how I'm going to select my template for the stack to be created. So I'd go upload a template to Amazon S3, but even though I've already got it on S3, I'm just going to update it basically for just to show you guys how it works. So you'd go to wherever you have it stored, which that one is the one I have right now. Just making sure it's all saved, just in case I accidentally did changes. I'd go open. I'll just make this full screen. And go next. And I'll give you a stack name, so I'm just going to call this ADDS Scots stack. Oops, spelt my name wrong. Sorry about that. And now I'm just going to go key stack value. I just do whatever I want. It's got stack, whatever. Usually I'll just do test, but this is not a test, so I know it's working. And I'll just review it and just make sure you've named it right and all that, and just go create. Just to know, when creating this stack, and if it rolls back, delete it before using the same stack name again, as it'll error out and so on. It just doesn't like having double net duplicates. So I'm just going to pause right here and show you when it finishes. So now it has basically just finished creating my stack, which the last bit was auto scaling group. As I said, that's where the IAM instance profile ended up erroring out, but since I don't have that error, it just went straight to it. So if I show you, this was where about it would have errored out the first time for me, as the route tables were not different siders. So, and also if it was 0.0.0.0/0, it would also error out here and just roll back. The last thing I want to talk about is basically the security groups, as it can be confusing sometimes about them. So ingress is basically the inbound rules. So anything coming in, ingress will be the word it uses. So ingress 5 will be inbound rule 5, which if I go this, the physical ID is ingress 5. So if just hang on a sec. So I just got back to my Notepad++, and that ingress 5 would be UDP protocol. So it would be the UDP coming in that's allowed on the side of IP 10.0.0.0/19. Before I go, I just want to talk about the ingress rule, which is basically the outbound rules of the inbound and outbound on the rules. As egress means outbound. Yeah, outbound. So, yeah, anything going out can go out. So, oh wait, I think it's different. Never mind. Yeah, so egress means out. So, as egress 2, it's RD, the remote desktop protocol. So, anything on the 0.0.0.0/0 means anyone. So, any IP can come in remote desktop. So that's basically it, guys. I hopefully you enjoyed this video.